So AJ, what do you think?
I got to be honest with you. I had my concerns about how the hell we were going to fill an hour. I didn't think I could talk about myself for an hour, but I managed to do it.
Actually, we probably could have gone for another 20 minutes. So actually, we're on the second segment that this will be actually the after hours show on
Wow.
my YouTube channel, and I'll get
So
you the
this is
links for
when
that.
this is when the after hours
Oh
is the
yeah.
language going to get salty?
Oh, you could have been salty on the other one. There's no. I was already told by everybody. There are no. What is it?
No filter, no
No
censorship.
filters. No, none of that stuff.
Hmm. Wow. Well, yeah, that was quite the experience, I got to say. It seems like these guys at Voice America here really have their stuff together.
You are not. Yeah. Every guest that I had on here that have done production work have been complimenting that, bar none. And I can't thank them enough for all they do.
Yeah, but as much as they do, it ultimately falls on you
Mhm.
because once they count you down, uh, it's all on you. you know.
It's just the minor things of actually doing the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah. But it's I think it was a lot of fun. I think we had a good
Good.
time. Was there anything that we didn't cover?
We covered a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time. We gave some pearls of wisdom on how to get into the craft, how to hone your craft.
Yeah.
We went over your background and why we should be listening to you about this.
Mm,
We plugged my books, we plugged your services
yeah.
on top of that.
Yeah.
And we had fun doing it.
We did.
It was a good natural conversation just going through, and all the good things about it. You also went over some bad things that have happened to you and what to look out for. I thought it was a really good show, and we gave quality content, especially about talking.
I think we did. I think we did. One thing I wanted to ask you about,
Mhm.
um, and we could have gone on about this for quite a while during the show, but that's what the after hours is for.
Exactly.
Um, with like, we didn't really talk too much about about the market. I kind of thought we were going to dig into the market a little bit, but we were able to kind of spend a lot of the hour talking about me and voiceover, even though this is like a making money kind of show.
Hmm.
But I was interested. I wanted to get your take on like the state of the market today, that specifically the stock market, and
Oh,
how things are now compared to say how they were at the end of the year, and like what you think about where it is now and where you think it's headed.
wow, that's a great question. I was waiting. I do have questions that come about that, but to where it is right now and where it was before, it's still going downhill. Nobody,
Yeah.
we from the pandemic and the complete shutdown and whatnot, people don't want to go back to the 9 to 5 work.
Hmm.
We've it's fact, and you can see it out there because now jobs are paying $15 at a fast food restaurant. Very
Yeah,
unheard of.
it is.
Very,
You're
it
right.
is. It's crazy, and they're offering incentives on top of that.
Hmm.
Um, Last week when I was talking with Steve about that, is employers are actually thinking about adding other perks to the job, like a year of Netflix, a
Yeah.
year of this, a year of
Yeah.
that. I'm like, really? And also the 401k matching, they're actually going 100% of investing, or adding to the investment they can invest or contribute to. Their contributions are doubling and tripling,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. But
Well, as much as I hate to see that affecting the stock market negatively,
mhm.
I will say, as far as workers sort of revolting against low pay, it's about damn time.
Well, there's good and bad to that. You know, the the lower end spectrum of the jobs, like the ones we're supposed to have in high school or when we're growing up and whatnot, they're only supposed to be stepping stones. But
Sure.
people forget to step up. They get comfortable where they're at, and they're happy doing the same mundane thing day in, day out.
Mhm.
Like we're doing right now is we're creating our own futures. We're taking it on ourselves to do all this stuff. A lot of people are, once we get to that comfort level, that we don't go from there. And
Yeah.
a lot of that is also transfers over to the stock market, because we have the same people trading it day in, day out. Once they started, we'll take the crypto world for right now.
Mhm.
Crypto is nosediving tremendously down the drain.
Yeah.
Well, there's many things to that. We don't have regulations. We don't have set times for trading. It's traded all over the world. I wake up and there's like 30 different alerts from Coinbase
Yeah.
about stocks going up, crypto going, currencies going up, going down. So there's none of that. And now you introduce all of these inexperienced people trading that have money, that have the quick rich mentality. And we also have it in the stock market now more than ever, because we have money now that for whatever reason they have the money, whether it was for um, payouts or a lot of companies actually bought people out for retirement early. So a lot to get new people in there so they would actually have smaller salary caps. You know,
Mhm.
that's a huge thing. So now we have all these people that are inexperienced trading in both realms and taking money out of the physical realm and putting it into the digital realm and vice versa. This Both markets are in a flux. They don't know what they're doing, and
Yeah.
the consistent thing is they're going down.
Yeah. No, they really are. But back to the worker shortage, I got to
Mhm.
say that I think people are starting to realize that there is value in those $10 to $15 an hour jobs. Like those people that work those jobs, like we need those people, you know?
Mhm.
Um, it was recently I went to like I don't know, I went to some fast food joint. It was like
Yeah.
it's like a Saturday afternoon and they're freaking closed.
Yeah.
And it said they're closed because of lack of staff. And here I am thinking, well, wait a minute. You've come to expect that fast food joint's going to be open, all the time. But these people are just like, they're like, enough is enough, and maybe they figured out other ways to make just as much money or more money doing something else that they actually don't hate.
There that is one ideal that a lot of people and a lot of companies are saying,
Hmm.
but there's many other ideals out there that they don't want to work. All they want to do is sit on their phone all day. That is I have I've been to multiple restaurants in the past, we'll say the last 2 weeks. I've cut down eating out tremendously, but the past 2 weeks I've been out to a restaurant. And even going to them, their cell phones are in their pockets. As soon as they walk away from you, they pull their cell phone out to check something. Dead serious. They turned their back and started to walk away. Before getting to the next table, they checked their phone and texted people.
Yeah.
Cannot put the phone down.
And you know what? Their bosses are afraid to say anything, because if their bosses tell them you can't have your cell phone while you're working, they'll be like, well, screw this. I'm not going to work here anymore.
Yeah, they're gonna leave and they're gonna find someone that is going to allow that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, thinking about, these people that for whatever reason are stuck, working these lower paying jobs. I mean, first of all, give them credit that they're out there working and
Yeah, they're still working. I
they're
definitely agree with that.
not at
You're
home, sitting on their asses. They're
Mhm.
actually going out and they're making a living. So I think credit should be given to that they have that work ethic. But man, somebody that's making $10 an hour and working a 40-hour week,
They can.
they're taking home $400 a week.
Mhm.
And, once you take out taxes
Yeah.
and, you got barely anything left. Like
There's
it's,
like close to $280 left after everything's
yeah.
said and done.
And for a month, then that would be like, you've got maybe $1,200 or something like that. I mean,
Mhm.
that's, you're lucky if you find a decent place where you can live for, $1,200 a month rent.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about food or
No.
gas or, don't even
Oh
mention saving for retirement.
no, nobody wants to save up. A lot of people think they can save for retirement because they have to have all this stuff. And that's one of the things that the book shows you. All these books that I'm doing are showing
Yeah.
you that you don't need that much.
Yeah. And the great thing about, that's kind of touched upon in your books, which, I agree with you when it comes to this, is, empowering people to make choices
Mhm.
to get themselves out of that level.
Yes.
And, giving them the encouragement and letting them know that it can be done. Like,
Mhm.
have confidence, have faith in yourself that, it's going to work out if you take the leap, you take the jump. I mean, I look back to the broadcast company that I was working for 2.5 years ago now, that actually let me go in March of 2020 due to the pandemic.
Mhm. Okay.
And back then I was working 50 hours a week minimum,
Mhm.
because it was actually in my contract, 10-hour days, like minimum 10-hour days. And thinking about what I was making then,
Mhm.
and now I'm in a position where fortunately I'm making 20% more than I was then. And I'm doing it at home in my bathrobe while I'm petting my dog. You know?
Exactly. And you're enjoying what you're doing.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that, a lot of people in radio are probably thinking the same thing that I was thinking. Like, I can't do anything to risk this job. I need this job. It's a steady paycheck. I can't piss off the boss. I got to do everything he says, because God forbid I lose this steady paycheck, because I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't have this. God, I wish I could go back, 2-3 years ago and
Yeah.
just smack myself in the head and say, hey man, you can do this. Like, get out of there.
Absolutely. That's, before the pandemic, I was very thankful for the pandemic because I was traveling 80% of the time installing hospital networks.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
I was flying all over the country. I rarely saw anybody. I was constantly living out of a suitcase. I would come back to my house, my 4-bedroom house that I own, and do laundry and then leave.
Yeah.
I would buy groceries for the week. It's like, nope, you got to go here, and I'm like, all the food would go back.
Uh,
Yeah, and I got,
uh,
and when everything got shut down and all this stuff, and which led me to that night of going out of drinking and coming back and seeing a YouTube, well, things a YouTube ad, and of course, I'm like, I can do this, and
yeah.
here I am.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I'm still doing the 9 to 5 because this isn't paying the bills completely yet, but
But it will.
it's going to. I
Yeah.
agree. I'm helping a lot of people out, and I'm meeting a lot of people. I'm meeting a lot of people, a lot of quality people,
Yeah.
that has value, that has the drives and whatnot. And I've been seeing that grow over the time spent doing this. And I enjoy it. It's even the mundane stuff of doing taxes. I will never do my taxes all at once again, ever. So I have started breaking that down by actually doing them at the end of the week. I'd put all my receipts in for a week and
Oh, that's
be
good.
done.
Yeah. I actually enjoy doing my taxes. Most people say, are you crazy?
No.
No, I love it. Like, I love spreadsheets and things like that. I mean, you'd be amazed at how much detail I, how much time I spend, micromanaging the details of my business, but it's just, I think it's a healthy obsession, you know?
As long as you have things outside of it still, like your
Well, that's
dog, and
true.
you
Yeah.
just got back from vacation with your
Just
family, and
right. Exactly. I got married back in October.
right.
So I have a new wife, and I have two kids from previous marriage,
Mhm.
who are 12 and 14. So yeah, there's a lot going on outside of the business, and I definitely have to learn to know when to say when it comes to work.
And before that, we weren't, because we were always in a mentality is like, I got to get this done. I need this for the boss. I need this for that, and
Yeah.
it's like, no, I really don't. I was like, it'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. I think, when you're getting ready to take that leap of faith and take your side hustle to the next level and really make it your main hustle. Taking that leap is really tough. For the first few months that I was doing voiceover, I was actually out. I was doing deliveries for DoorDash.
Okay.
Because it really worked out. It worked out perfectly for my schedule. Like for those first few months when things would slow down with voiceover, I would just kind of pick up the slack by going to do some deliveries, and it's great. Being a gig worker like that is great because you can work as much or as little as you want. So that worked out. But I talk about with my spreadsheets and keeping charts and analyzing things, and that the piece of the pie with the voiceover every month would get bigger and bigger, and the piece of the pie with the delivery driving would get smaller and smaller. And it eventually got to the point where, okay, I'm doing this much with driving, but I can't let it go because that's safe and secure, and I had to take that jump at some point, and I had to be like, you know what, the time that I'm out there doing deliveries, even if it's like an hour or two a day or something like that, if I take that time and I invest it in my voiceover business, I might not see that return right away, but over time, that return, I'm going to make so much more from that little hour or two, investing it into marketing, investing it into auditions and coaching and things like that. So I had to take the leap, and I did it. And I was absolutely right. It paid off.
And that was one of the things I wish I'm glad we're talking about that now, because that was one of the things I wanted to bring up on the show was, how do you deal with not getting instant gratification from the work you're putting in?
Yeah, no, it's tough. I mean,
That's
you can't just expect to be like, all right, I'm going to do voiceover, and then bang, right away, the money starts coming in. It doesn't work that way. With most businesses, it doesn't work that way.
No.
So that's why I thought, the delivery driving is such a great thing to kind of have to, keep money coming in. And again, with being able to work whenever you want, as much as you want or as little as you want. If I instead say I went and took a part-time job at like Starbucks or something like that, that wouldn't offer me the flexibility that I needed, because even though it's a part-time job, there are specific hours.
Yeah, you're scheduling, and then you're still taking the paycheck, and then taxes that you can't write off and all that
right.
stuff.
And then if all of a sudden a voiceover job comes up, and that, but then I got to work my shift at Starbucks, then it's not going to work that way. That's why that was really cool. And I think that was instrumental in really getting the ball rolling and picking up that momentum, was being able to have that as like a backup. But then, like I said, letting that stability go was a little tough, but took the leap of faith, and it worked out very well. And the business continues to grow every month, and it's amazing. And I can't imagine where I'll be a year from now.
No, because as soon as you put that vision of where you want to be, that's what you're limiting it to.
Yep, exactly.
I don't do that. Just like the ratings on the show, it's like I didn't realize what it was going to be. The Voice America did. They're like, well, he's going to get like maybe 60 people here, or 50. The first week I hit 85 people. They were expecting 20. And then cool. The second one was 130, and I hit 300.
Wow.
The biggest show that I have going right now is Recovering from Vacation, that has over 600 listens already.
That's cool, man.
That is 3 weeks ago.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, 4 weeks now, but yeah, it's ridiculous.
So you just got to keep doing it, and see where it takes you. I
hemmed and hawed on this opportunity quite a bit. about it. It's like, well, do I really want to put the money out right now because it's going to go on a credit card? And it's like, and then I thought about it, and it ultimately came out. It's like, I'm going to touch people in the world, all
Yeah.
over the world now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I actually had to talk to a couple of my coaches from the program. It's like, yo, I've had this opportunity. I'm like, what do I do? I talked to them. I was on a phone call just like we are right now about it. It's like, have you ever heard of this? He's like, their jaws the hit the ground. There's drool coming out of them. Their eyes are like glazed over. It's like, what did you say? I told him exactly the offer I had. He's like, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about establishing your brand.
Mhm.
And as
Right.
long as you can continue to offer value, um, and make it worth people's time, because as we were talking about during the show, I mean, you know, people have so many choices in turn for content,
Mhm.
you know, for them to make the choice to spend their time with you, it's big. And so how are you going to do that? You're going to offer content that they can't get anywhere else, content that's going
Right.
to be valuable for them. And so then the key is being able to, in that content, being able to slip in a little bit of, by the way, I've got these books,
Mhm.
or I've got this, or I've got that. So that's sort of the trade-off,
Right.
kind of like with traditional radio. You've got, people tune in obviously for the music, but then you sneak in a few commercials so that you can make it worth your while if you're a radio station owner. And so everybody gets a little something out of it.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's an amazing path, and there's really not a path. It's an adventure. And what's
That's
coming
for
next
sure.
is crazy.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I can't thank you enough for being part of it. Even
I-
the
I-
uh the narration
oh
of the
man.
book and whatnot.
Yeah, no, that, both books were really fun to do, really easy to do. I think we chatted about how, I mean, I've done books that are hard, because my mind wanders if it's boring, you know. Your books weren't boring. I mean, they were written, that what they were written about was good. The topics were great, but also just the way that you wrote them, and you just wrote them as if in plain English, you know.
Uh, exactly. No jargon. Jargon was there. It was like, okay, this is what this means. Okay, there you go. And you've seen it all. You've heard it.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna stop the recording.